Hi, and welcome to this live reading from Puzzleman by Christopher Allen Broadstone, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. The first piece. How much? $50. Forget it. How about a dirty 35? $35 for this? Where's the other one? Ain't got it. It's the only one I got. The artist. Hey, look, he only made one. Just or okay. Yeah, well, I always like a set. Neat and matched. Please, darling, I got to eat. I'm not your darling, mister. Good God, lady, you trying to kill me and my business? What the hell is this? Right here. Now, that's character if I ever seen it. It's tarnished. Ain't no tarnish. It's pure decor. Sure and it's rusted. What? I said it's jacked up. Holy mother. Now, I ain't stupid and I know for sure you ain't out in the street to buy for the gold. This Elm Street, Dallas, Texas. It sure ain't Fifth Avenue and it sure ain't Wall Street. You're out here to pick up on some art, some people's thoughts and sweat and blood. Ain't that right? Hell yeah, it is. You know the art when you see it, I can tell it in your eyes. I can tell you see a puzzle in the art, don't you? I don't like puzzles. I don't like mysteries. Come on, shit. Everybody on this whole wildest street's a puzzle to me. I said I hate puzzles. Do you hate people's too? Oh, never mind. I don't want to know from nothing. Ain't I got to eat? The more we yap, the more I starve. I ain't even called tomorrow's breakfast yet, so I'll tell you what. I'll throw out my pride and my good business sense and give you the whole Mac Daddy your free fives. $15. Ain't that the deal at the ever-loving century or what? Mm, come on, lady. It's still jacked up. My old lady's jacked up on cranking. I ain't got 6 kids my own belly to feed. Hell, I ain't even got it. It's a hungry dog, too. I wasn't born to feed your freaking house pets and put your old lady in rehab. Why don't you? The street vendor's eyes narrowed. Yeah, right. I see. I sees it just fine. Maybe you wasn't born to feed my freaking house pets, but you sure standing here alive to feed your own misery. And ain't that some jacked up shit? Amanda glared. The street vendor grinned. Yup, it's the God's honest jacked up truth, sure enough. And the God's honest truth's about nothing but all the pain behind all them lies. You can't deny it, I know it. And all them lies you tell your own self every damn day, all they do is keep your pretty little old tiny old brain out of the drain. Shut up. Because nobody's sane down the drain. Nobody. I mean nobody. I said shut up. The street vendor opened his filthy, money-grubbing palm. Amanda winced. She could see his lifeline shooting off to Jupiter, then swirling infinitely inward and infinitely back on itself, twisting the print of his flesh as if branded by some merciless hell within. 3 fives, he hissed. Just 15 little old bucks. Amanda stared at the stinking know-it-all vendor. Could smell his cloying, chilling, silly excuse for human breath, and for an endless moment everything seemed frozen in time. Elm Street, the passers-by, the vendor's god-awful gold-toothed grin. Yes, everything, thought Amanda, tears swelling in her eyes. Why can't everything just wash away? Why? But then, as if pricked from a coma, she blinked back her tears, swallowed her memories, and ate every last one of her lost hopes. Never ends, she thought. Never. Here, she sputtered, fighting with her purse. Here's your lousy 15 little old bucks. She fisted cold bills from within the dark confines of her bag. Take your rugrats to McDonald's and kiss your jacked-up wife goodbye and just give me the stupid earring. Part 1. I hate a mystery. They gave him plenty of food, yet for all they could do, he never grew bigger, but kept just the same size as he had been when he was born. Still, his eyes were sharp and sparkling, and he soon showed himself to be a clever little fellow who always knew well what he was about. Chapter 1. Amanda Margaret Zimmerman studied her uneven reflection in the restroom mirror of her favorite Deep Ellum restaurant, the Cardboard Cafe. The looking-glass hung artistically askew above the sallow porcelain sink, where rust stains had begun to streak in line with the water flow from the twin pewter faucets. Her fiery green eyes shifted to the right, then the left, then back again, occasionally lingering on the unfinished masonry of the wall the mirror hung from. It was dilapidated, the mirror and the wall. And so were the rest of the walls, all unfinished masonry. The floor was a textured gray concrete. Amanda didn't like this room. Not one little bit. She watched her thumb as she rubbed it across the tips of her fingers. Her nails were cut short and neatly manicured. No long claws for her. They only ended up chipped and broken off, and then there was another mess to fix. Again, she looked at the mirror and the wall, but mostly the wall. She still didn't like it. Made her wonder why she gave a damn about anything, especially why she suddenly cared so much about this public toilet. She had been in it a zillion times before, but tonight she felt as if she was seeing it for the first time. And it was grotesque. She sensed the mortar leaching out at her from between the dirty, chipped bricks. Oozing, she thought bitterly, her forehead wrinkling, like milky vomit from a baby's mouth. She couldn't help but recall how she despised watching her younger sister burp Charlie, her newest nephew. Why in God's name have another kid? She had asked when Sarah became pregnant for the 4th time. Why create another loose end to be tied up? The little squirt was cute, sure, but his regurgitation was not. And how many times had Sarah delayed and delayed the wiping of little Charlie's oozing lips until the sour gruel had rolled down his chin and soiled the clean diaper his mother had just thrown over her shoulder. It didn't make any sense. Nor did it make any sense as to why the masons hadn't scraped this cauliflower mortar from these vomiting walls. Why leave a job undone? Laziness, Amanda whispered the answer to her own question. Goddamn sloth. She shook her head, wishing to Christ her beleaguering thoughts would fall away. They weren't usually this intense and rarely attacked all at once. Of course, why would Christ or the Father, or the Holy Ghost for that matter, help her anyway? She had been painfully aware for a long time now that there wasn't one single branch of the divine Trinity that wasn't perpetually too busy or just too damn apathetic to come to her aid. She would simply have to help herself. As usual. It's a good thing you're a long time out of the bottle, sweetie, she said under her breath, or you'd be a long time bye-bye. But, she reconsidered, maybe that wouldn't be so bad. Death. No, she hated death worse than acid rain, vivisection, collateral damage, and old drunks pissing in the street put together. Death was another consequence of God's sloth as far as Aunt Amanda was concerned. Everyone, everything, lived purely to die. And that wasn't even the worst of it. Putting the Creator aside and his entire seraphic retinue, a monstrous portion of the misery in life was caused by plain ordinary people actually trying to make living as painful for everyone else as they felt it was for themselves. Have you done that? Amanda asked, her warped mirror image. Have you screwed over another human being because you've pissed at the way the world has turned out? Yep, she grit her teeth. You probably have without even realizing it. Human fucking nature. She slapped her cheeks, administering a little self-punishment, then drew her fingers back over her ears. Ears. The earring. That's why she had come in here. Frantically, she rummaged through her carpet bag of a purse, lipstick, bright red and almost gone, 2 pens, 5 pencils, broken into different sizes, one left long for self-defense, plenty of erasers, a small sketch pad, old gum, new gum, cigarettes, which she had given up 6 months ago, but still carried, just in case she suddenly had to have a 10-minute hairbrush, hair pick, paper clips, Kleenex, etc., lint and dust. Damn it, she barked. Where is it? She remembered. Side pocket. Anxiously, her fingers fumbled with the pocket zipper, then opened it with one merciless yank and penetrated. Hope you're not lost. You cost me $15, you little piece of shit. Ah, there it was. With renewed calm, she freed the wire ball and held it up for a damage check. The harsh yet dingy light of the restroom's bare bulb dangling on its black cord from the high ceiling disfavored the earring immediately. Amanda glanced at her 29-year-old face in the mirror and believed the earring wasn't the only thing the illumination disfavored tonight. Her eyes fell back onto the wire ball. Amanda, dear, you're a sucker for too many street vendors. But that was silly. Her soft heart may have been an excuse in the past, but not tonight. Tonight she had really wanted the thing and probably would have paid more for it if the seller hadn't gone down so quickly. What makes you so special? She wondered at the earring. It wasn't that it went perfectly with any particular outfit she owned or was intent on buying soon. So why the big deal? She bought stuff on the streets practically every week, and this earring was just another piece of junk to add to the rest of the junk she had acquired, right? Maybe not. There was something different about it besides her compulsive desire to own it. It was strange, more unnatural than the trinkets she usually picked up. It was duller, yet more alive. It was nostalgic, yet far more modern. It was in some way eternal, infinite, and yet completely an end in itself. A juxtaposition she could hang from her earlobe. This paradox alone made her stomach sizzle until she wanted to choke or throw up, or simply scrutinize the damn earring closer. Cautiously, she probed it with her fingers and let it go. The small globe spun easily on its tiny brass-colored pivot, which in turn was attached to a short length of grungy chain. The earring flashed. Amanda blinked and her heart jumped in her chest. A moment later, a youthful smile crept across her face. She set the earring spinning once more, this time igniting a random series of 3 flashes, then grabbed the crazy glob, freezing it in orbit. She brought it closer to her eyes, so close its reflection filled her entire pupil. Very slowly, she twisted the ball back and forth, angling it more into the light. There. Another spark. She tried to make it come to life again and was equally successful. A smaller flash and then a fatter one popped out at her. She began to understand why. Each wire or metallic thread that composed the earring was very tightly woven into odd patterns. Some seemed to spiral infinitely in and upon themselves, while others were linear, curved, square, rectangular, or triangular. She had recognized these designs out on the street even before the price had been set, but she had thought they were only painted on in some clever, though now faded fashion. That just wasn't the case. What she had previously believed to be rust spots were actually very tiny, dense, abstract shapes that contributed to the structure of the larger, more recognizable shapes. Unquestionably, this piece of jewelry was the product of some serious craftsmanship. Some very unique, jacked up, she thought, craftsmanship. What created the illusion of print, however, was the way the light struck the surface. The shapes portrayed by the wires seemed to manipulate the light, bending it or absorbing it and creating shadows in the process. These shadows or dark places accented whatever the wire shape in that particular area, circle, square, rectangle, abstract, or any combination. As the earring was turned and the surface changed, other patterns became visible too. If angled properly, patterns could be seen within patterns. The way the available light fell upon the earring directly influenced what shapes and designs were visible to Amanda's eye. Enthralled by her discovery, she slowly rotated the earring again, continually altering its position in relation to the restroom's single bulb. To her expectations and thrill, the surface of the globe never looked quite the same way twice. Sometimes there were no visible shapes at all, as if the wires had suddenly disappeared and the surface had become smooth and dull, or completely black. Freaking bizarre. Truly captivating. Another spark. She reversed the earring's course, her tedious scrutiny proving these flashes were not originating from the surface wires, but from below them. It seemed impossible since the weave was so tight. But it's true. She worked the ball until it created another flash and then eased it back, holding the spark as a steady beam, lighting a pinhole size area of skin just above her left eyebrow. I can almost see down inside, she thought. Her eyes strained to bring the wires below the surface filigree into focus. Revelation was just in reach. She knew it. It was like waiting for the first beat of a fetal heart or a newborn's first breath. Ah, she suddenly blurted. To hell with this bullshit. Petulance got the best of Amanda, and she gave up, frustrating. Panting, she scowled, furious with herself, although the desire to understand the earring continued to gnaw at her.